Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please subscribe if you're a Devils fan. Smash that like button. Share with a friend. Thank you very much. And we go to now what I would call the wrap-up, or so it seems, of NHL Free Agency. And before I get into the specifics, everyone, please, I'm getting attacked a lot. Your boy Ace wears his heart on his sleeve and does give his opinions. So if you're just expecting just to see purely news and things of that nature, while I do try to do that, you know, part of what I'm doing here is going to be to give my opinion and talk to you guys about your opinions. And so a lot of you, I guess, sensed my very blatant disappointment and a little bit of a shock, to be honest, when the first wave of free agent signings were coming out. And that's the reality. You know, I saw all these things coming in. I jumped on here, and I was a little too harsh. And that's often the case with me. I do wear my heart on my sleeve. Often I will come down a bit from my initial reaction. And my initial reaction was, you know, very disappointed, unfortunately, with the fact that we missed out on a top six guy. We were rumored to all those sexy names. I went to bed at literally, I think it was like 7 a.m. looking at all the Stamkos shit. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I came on here as soon as all these things came in, and I was disappointed. I did like the defensive moves, but overall I was still feeling the sting of missing out on the top six guys. And here we are to do a kind of comprehensive recap. And so overall, we did have a great day for the New Jersey Devils. Tom Fitzgerald did improve this team dramatically, and it started, you know, a few weeks ago when we got Markstrom. We all complained about a goalie all year long. I wish that he had addressed it at some point last season, and that's one of my biggest knocks on Fitzgerald at the moment is that, you know, he just watched us drown while everyone knew we were missing a goalie. Didn't do anything about it till deadline day. Then we got two of them. Yeah, it's water under the bridge to some extent at this point, but he went out and got Markstrom. Loved the Markstrom deal. A lot of you disagreed with me with that, but I wanted him from last season when we were rumored to him. And so now we start with the goalie piece. Markstrom, loved the deal for 2 years. A competitor, going to give us a chance to win every night, and I love the move. And now we have to address the defense. We moved out Kevin Ball in that Markstrom deal, and we moved Marino the other day at the draft for some picks. So obviously those two guys are going to have to be replaced. What does Fitzy do in the first hour or so of free agency? Didn't come as a surprise to anyone because we all expected this. The rumors were out there. We signed Pesce for 6 years at $5.5 million a year, a little bit lower than what a lot of the estimates were. A lot of people were saying it might be closer to six and a half. I like the $5.5 million. Like Pesce, great placement for Marino. Going to be a lot more steady back there in front of Markstrom. And then we signed Brenden Dillon to the Jets to $4 million times 3 years. I like him too. He was on my list. I really did want Zadorov, the monster truck, throwback, assassin, absolute killer, violent gentleman. He is the definition of heavier, edgier, more violent. I really wanted Zadorov. I don't think the analytics department was looking fondly at him, and so I don't think he was ever a real option for the Devils. They were probably never even in on him. Would have loved to see Zadorov, but to replace Kevin Ball and John Marino with Brett Pesce and Brenden Dillon, those are pretty sizable upgrades in my opinion. And so now with Markstrom in net, Ball and Marino swapped out for Pesce and Dillon, we are going to be a much tougher team to score against. That is a fact. That is the number one area that we needed to fix. A lot of you guys were attacking me and saying, like, I didn't want that. I 100% wanted that. I am an old school guy. I am an old school fan. Lou Lamoriello's school of GM. You build a team from the net out. I came up as a kid in the Marty Brodeur era with Scotty Niedermayer, Scott Stevens, and a bunch of killers, Kenny Danico on defense. I appreciate goaltending and defense above everything. I really do. And so don't get it twisted. I'm all for that. Markstrom with Pesce and Dillon represents a much revamped goaltending defense kind of symphony. It's going to be a beautiful symphony back there for this team. It's going to be much harder to score against, and it's what we needed. And so I do give Fitz the credit for addressing the number one glaring issue was we were getting scored on too much. You fixed that with getting a better goalie, upgrading to your defenseman, and I love it. Job well done by Fitzy on that front. Job well done. Markstrom, Pesce, Dillon, love it. Would have liked Zadorov more, but I'll take what we got. Then we go out and continue to get heavier, edgier, more violent with the acquisition of Stefan Noesen from Carolina. Was on the Devils years ago. I liked him back then. As you guys know by now, I love all the rough and tumble guys, and Stefan Noesen is indeed one of them. He gets a 3-year deal at $2.75 million a year, and our bottom six has got some dogs in it now. Stefan Noesen is a dog. Paul Cotter is a dog. I would have liked to see some dogs on defense, but listen, Rome wasn't built in a day, and I guess this New Jersey Devils team can't be completely revamped in one summer, although we are getting a major facelift here with all of these moves. But I love the Noesen deal. Plays way bigger than he is. I actually thought he was bigger than what he's listed at 6'1", 205. He plays a mean, heavy game, and he's going to bring tenacity to this lineup, as is Cotter. So the bottom six is rounding out beautifully. I'm very curious to see how that third and fourth line takes shape throughout camp, and I guess, early on in the season. I do believe that the Devils and Fitzgerald are super high on Cotter, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an audition on the third line. Because he plays wing and center, that's going to give us a lot of different possibilities. Having a guy that can play wing and center gives you a lot of flexibility, especially in the bottom six. So we might see him shuffled around all over the place before he finally settles in with his line mates and what will hopefully be, some sort of long-term lines to build chemistry over the season. But Cotter is a big wild card. I do think Fitzgerald and the Devils are really high on him. You read all the articles. It seems like they thought they kind of caught lightning in a bottle with him, where we might have this guy that's going to way overachieve what he did in Vegas. And he was just a casualty of extreme forward depth in Vegas, and he's going to have a much bigger role here. I'm hoping that's the case. But Noesen and Cotter definitely make us way grittier, way harder to play against, and we all knew that was a problem last season. That's not going to be a problem this season. And hopefully the way these guys play and their attitudes are kind of infectious to the rest of the group, and everyone could just play a little bit chippier. Just play a little bit. I'm not asking Nico to go out there and break bones, but just play a little grittier and a little tougher than you'd normally do. And listen, I do think Nico is a very tough player because he takes a beating night in and night out. I would just like him to just develop a little bit more of a snarl where, he doesn't always look like he's going to cry. I feel like he looks like he's going to cry a lot. I mean, does anyone else see that? I just feel like his facial expressions are often of a very defeatist variety or a sad variety. I just want to see him just develop that, develop a little bit more of that killer instinct, and maybe he will with a lot of these guys around him. We're going to have tough guys all over the place. Love to see the moves. Pesce, Dillon, Noesen, great free agency, or very good free agency. I'll say very good free agency. Very good free agency, but my main issue, and I don't want to keep harping on the negative, but we did desperately need a top six forward, and we did strike out. And that was part of my initial disappointment that came through in the first video I recorded, was that, I was up all night last night looking at all this shit. I couldn't sleep, looking at everything. Rumored to Stammer, rumored to Marchessault. Sucks to miss out on them. I wouldn't have paid Stammer the $8 million. I think, he was going for a money grab. It's a tax-free state. And now with the moves they made today, who's to say they're not a contender, right? I mean, they could have a very good season next year. They really could. The one that stings is the Marchessault deal. $5.5 million. I would have loved to have that guy on our team at that price. Plays a little bit tougher than a lot of our other guys. Has been through the playoff wars. Won a Conn Smythe. Was over a point per game in that playoff when they won the cup. And I think that's the one that stings for me, because that I thought was a pretty good deal, and I think he could have brought a lot to our group. I really do. But he was probably determined, to also collect state tax-free paychecks with Stammer in Nashville. Fun place to play by all accounts. And it just wasn't meant to be for us. And I guess there wasn't many other options there. And with the cap getting tighter and tighter, it was going to be hard to do. It was going to be really hard to do. But another thing that I forgot to mention earlier was a part of my disappointment for whiffing on the top six is that I was almost certain when we pulled the plug on the Alex Holtz experiment and essentially gave him away to Vegas, I thought for sure that signified, okay, we're going to get a top six guy because we don't have Holtz anymore. And that's not to say that Holtz would have been a top six guy, but I think a lot of us thought he was going to at least get an audition at some point this season to maybe crack that top six or, give us more flexibility in the top six. But, losing him, yeah, I definitely just thought we were gonna bring in another forward for sure. And it wasn't meant to be for whatever reason. A lot of people are speculating Fitz might be working the phones and trying to work a trade, and he's not done yet. I can't say for sure what I think about that. I mean, I think he's always looking to improve the team when he can, but I don't have any lofty expectations of a top six player materializing anytime soon. And that might be a thing we look to do at the deadline. Who knows? It's going to be hard to maneuver at the deadline and be buyers if we are in a position to be pushing for a cup, because we do not have that 2025 first-round pick that we dealt in the Markstrom deal. I was hoping maybe via trade at some point leading up to the draft that we would have been able to make a move to get back a 2025 first rounder to be able to be buyers at the deadline, but we're going to have to get creative with maybe future draft picks, prospects, who knows. But it seems like Dawson Mercer is going to have to really step up this year. We need a lot from Dawson Mercer, and we're going to need a lot better year from Palat as well. I know everyone keeps beating on Palat for the contract. You know, it is what it is. It's a horrible contract, and it's not going to get any better. I'm just hoping that he could pick it up a little bit from last season and give us a little bit more. If everybody across the board could give us a little bit more, I think we're going to have a fine year. I really do think we're going to have a great year. We still have some lethal forwards. With Dougie back, I expect our power play to be lethal, and I think it's going to be a lot harder for the other teams to put pucks in our net. Our defense got much better, much more experienced, and we have a way better goalie than we had all year long last year. So when you add up all those elements, overall, I am happy. Just to clarify, I am happy with our free agency. I am happy with our offseason. But I'm a little bit greedy, and I'm always looking for a little bit more, and I was really looking to get that top 6 forward. I really was. You know, I thought, you know, Stammer would have been a dream, but that was, you know, that guy's crazy money. Not worth the money, but Marchessault at 5.5, that's a tough pill to swallow. I'd be curious to know if the Devils were truly in on any of these guys, but that's gone now. So now we look to the future, and we are a better team. We are a much better team. And I expect this New Jersey Devils club to be much closer to the franchise-setting record 22-23 New Jersey Devils than the last year debacle 23-24 injury-riddled, jinxed, cursed New Jersey Devils. I think the boys will be back next year. I do believe we're going to be in contention to win the division, and I think we're going to be a dangerous out in the playoffs for anybody that has to match up against us. I do not think a lot of teams will want to match up against us. I do not. You call me delusional. I'm expecting a big bounce-back year for this New Jersey Devils club. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say right now that at a minimum, we win a playoff round. How do you guys like those apples? The New Jersey Devils will, at a minimum, make it to the second round next year. You heard it from your boy Ace. Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me, but I firmly believe the Devils are easily winning at least one playoff round next year and would love to see them go further. The sky is the limit if the group starts clicking, we get hot at the right time, and you never know. You never know what happens in this game, but I'm hoping for the best, and I'm excited for the season. I really am. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about all these moves. You know, my biggest sting of the day is, I guess, Zadorov. You know, that was the one that I thought we realistically had a chance to get, but, you know, I don't think the analytics team was liking him whatsoever. And so we get Pesce, Dillon, Stefan Noesen, and maybe something else, a little bit of the smaller variety will come trickling in later. I don't know. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about all this. We definitely got a little bit heavier, edgier, more violent with Noesen. We have Cotter, and now there's some dogs in the room. There's some dogs in the room, dogs on the ice. I'm jacked for the season. I honestly wish it wasn't, you know, wow, three months plus a few days away. It's going to seem like an eternity because after the draft and free agency, there's not much going on in the summer, guys. Not a ton. You know, I'm going to be here doing random things here and there, but not a ton. Throw it out there in the comments. I will be live tonight chatting with whoever of you drops by at 8:30. We're doing a live talking about the Devils, talking about free agency. Hope you guys could make it. I'll have the beverages ready. Grab a drink or several. Come join the conversation. Shout out to my little buddy, Zebra Games. You cannot drink. Maybe you could get like a soda or an apple juice, whatever it is. You bring your beverage of choice. You watch the live, and we'll all be here just, talking New Jersey Devils hockey. I know a lot of you are super down on Fitz and want to kill him. I think that's unfair. I just think part of it is we all kind of, I don't want to say bought the lie. I don't think it was a lie, but I understand the frustration. If you saw my first video when Pesce and Dillon were signed, I was visibly kind of frustrated. And I think, you know, Fitzgerald just needs to stop talking smack. Because when he came out with big game hunting, you're like, yeah, we're going big game hunting. And unfortunately, to most people, including myself, Pesce, Dillon, and Noesen, that's not big game hunting. Our team got better, so that's what you have to focus on. I think if Fitzgerald didn't set the expectation so high with all of his bravado and rah-rah talk, I don't think people would be as upset. But the combination of big game hunting with all the rumors to the big names, it kind of set me up to be disappointed. And I even said my expectations are not high, but you still always hold out that little sliver of hope. And when it doesn't happen, it's crushing. It really is. It really is. This is like, you're expecting Santa to bring you that really expensive Christmas gift you wanted, and you go down Christmas morning. The cookies and milk are gone. Santa wiped those out. Cookies and milk are gone, but that shiny toy you wanted is not there. And that's kind of how I feel right now. But again, looking back on the whole situation, this offseason, free agency, we had a great offseason. We've improved in multiple positions, and as a team, I think we're vastly improved. I really do. Getting a real goalie, upgrading 2 of the defensemen, and then getting nasty bottom 6 guys, overall, we are going to be a much better team, and you just have to focus on that. It's just hard for a lot of people, and again, including myself, to get past the initial shock and disappointment, because when you, as a general manager, go out there and tell the world, we are going big game hunting, you're setting people's expectations up here, and you're swinging at players that are down here. So it doesn't jive. And I get the disappointment, but guys, I'm not a huge Fitzgerald fan, but I think he's done a lot this offseason to make the team better, and that's really it. It's just all of his talk led to us all to be disappointed, or at least some of us. But I think it was a good offseason thus far. It was a good day in free agency. We have a little cap money left. Hopefully we pull a rabbit out of the hat, maybe in a trade down the line. Who knows? Fitzgerald's not speaking to the media today, so maybe there's some minor things in the works, and we'll find out. But that's all I got for right now. But it is a good day. It is a good day to be a New Jersey Devils fan. It is a good day for the players. The team got better. We will be much better next year, and that's what you got to focus on. I know. I wanted the big game hunt too. I really did. I really wanted to go big game hunting, but it wasn't in the cards, and Fitzgerald should just stop saying stuff like that. Hope to see you all tonight on the live, 8:30. I'll be here, beverages in hand, talking to all of you, do some live call-ins. Maybe I'll do some sporadic prizes. I don't know yet. We'll figure it all out. But let me know in the comments. I will talk to you all soon. It is a good day to be a Devils fan, and I will talk to you all soon. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.